I started working in health and safety by working outages for different nuclear plants. I would travel to one nuclear plant, work 72 hours a week for 30 to 60 days, depending on how long the outage was. Then I would leave and go to the next nuclear plant for another 30 to 60 days until that outage was done. And I did this for several months, usually working 3 to 5 outages a year, and then the rest of the time I would just chill out and relax. But a couple of years into me doing this, I caught wind of a job posting for a small fossil plant, and the job was for the occupational safety and health representative for the whole plant. So I applied, and they flew me from Florida, where I was working at the time, to North Carolina, where the job interview was. And the interview went surprisingly well, but the interview was with who would eventually be my boss and with the plant manager. And then after the interview, I jumped back on a plane to head back to Florida, and a few weeks later, I ended up receiving an offer letter, and we packed everything up and moved to North Carolina. Now, I quickly realized that this job was completely different from that which what I had been doing, jumping from nuclear outage to nuclear outage. Because the responsibilities that you have from being an outage safety technician to becoming the safety professional a whole plant depends on is quite overwhelming. And I had started getting what is better known as imposter syndrome. I would walk around the plant, I would talk to people, but I still had this nervousness about approaching people that I didn't know. I had no idea how to do it. I had no idea what I should say. But eventually, I realized I had absolutely no idea what I should have been doing or how to do some of the things that I knew I was supposed to be doing. And I didn't want to ask anyone because I felt as if I started asking questions, then people would know I didn't belong there. I didn't know how to do the job. They would think that I was a joke and I would eventually get fired. All of which could not have been further from the truth. You see, the fact of the matter is I had people to lean on. I had about a dozen other health and safety professionals that I could have reached out to that were my colleagues at other locations, at other plants within the same company. I had my boss that I could have reached out to who knew this was my first gig in this sort of position. On top of all of that, I had my father that I could have asked. And I had at least one other person that I could have reached out to. And I had another one, but he was kind of dickish. And so I never really reached out to him. And to be honest, I honestly got kind of a leg up getting into this field. My father had a hand in it, but after that, I was pretty much left up to my own devices at trailing my own path. The one thing that many people like to throw in people's faces is, well, you only got this job because of your dad. Well, yeah, that was true for my first gig, but after that, I had to pretty much fend for myself. He had a hand from here and there, and those that I met along the way, my other mentors had a hand in it as well. But if I didn't continue performing, I would not have been able to continue working in this field. Case in point, let me continue. The anxiety really started to put pressure on me. I started to become overwhelmed, and one day I had to go to the bathroom, and I was in the stall. I just stayed there. At first, it was for 30 minutes. Then it went to an hour. Then it went to 2 hours, and I just felt comfortable. It's funny how saying that you feel comfortable in a bathroom, but I think it had something to do with the two walls so close together. I felt like nothing could bother me, nothing could hurt me, nothing could happen. So I stayed there. But eventually, as you can imagine, I got fired. I was not mentally mature enough for a position like that, nor was I professionally mature enough for a position like that. I did not know how to reach out to other people to ask for assistance, and they would have supported me had I asked for help. Before I get into telling you what you can do to keep this from happening, I want to tell you guys and ladies out there that you're not alone. I've been trying to develop this package ever since I started this channel, and now I can actually tell you guys that we're now offering health and safety mentorship packages through Patreon. If you find yourself breaking into this position and find yourself in a similar situation such as mine, please check us out. See which program suits your wants and needs, and let us start providing you the help and the assistance that you're looking for while trying to figure out this new job. Because the only thing that you have to do in order to keep yourself from falling into the same pitfall that I did is ask for help. That's it. That's one of the simplest things that I can tell you is most of the time, like 98% of the time, all you have to do is ask for help. Someone will be there to help you, especially if you're just starting out. With what everyone thinks. Ask how to write a job hazard analysis or how to do a risk assessment. If you're just starting out, don't be afraid to tell people that you're new to the field. Let them know that you're eager to learn and figure things out. Most companies are not going to stick you as a safety manager without any experience. My boss had known that was my first gig in that type of position and had expected me to ask questions, but I still didn't. I figured that her and all of the others had their own responsibilities to deal with. They had their own deliverables. They had their own priorities. And if I called them up all of the time, then I would just bother them and would be wasting their time. True leaders know and they understand that they never stop learning and they never stop asking questions. So if you end up having questions and you start asking your boss or other safety professionals and they start being a dick to you, them. I really shouldn't be saying that word on this channel, but it pisses me off how people, they have worked in this field for 20 or 30 years and then just forget that at one point they didn't know what to do either and they had to rely on others to help them. And maybe they had to learn it all on their own. A lot of us did. A lot of us were thrown to the wolves and had to figure everything on our own and had nobody to ask questions. But that's not the case anymore. As health and safety professionals, we have to be leaders, and leaders embrace those that are looking to learn and form their own path. Leaders want to be part of your success story. They want to be there to help you in correction or in celebration. But true leaders are out there in this field. So if you find yourself unfortunate enough to come across a bad apple, don't let it ruin your outlook on your career. That person may just be having a bad day, or they just may be a dick in general. Who knows? I don't know, but maybe. Either way, neither of those reasons have anything to do with you, so don't let them discourage you from trying to learn. I saw a very interesting quote on LinkedIn the other week, and it kind of goes back to what I just said a second ago. But it said, normalize teaching people instead of belittling them, because once upon a time, your ass didn't know either. There are health and safety professionals out there who do think they walk on water, and they never had to learn these things the same way everybody else had to. And that's straight up bullshit. Because just as that quote pointed out, we've all gone through a phase when we were brand new and we needed help, support, and assistance. So don't forget, if you're just getting started in this field and you need help, you have nowhere else to turn, or maybe you just want someone dedicated specifically to you on a daily basis, please go check out our Patreon page, check out the different mentorship packages we offer, and find one that suits you, and let us help you.